Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. Sabatini's, the area's greatest selection of rare craft and imported beers. Growlers and crowlers and 37 rotating drafts, all at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. Good morning, Lindo Sabatini.
What's happening?
What's up?
It's more beer talk now. This is good. We've got right to beer. There you go.
There it is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get your face like that.
It's good. Thank God there's plexiglass.
Big screen in front of you. Bill from mybeerbuzz.com on the line with us as always. Hi, Bill.
Hey, happy Friday.
Hey, Friday. How are you?
Hey, Hyper.
I'm good. I'm counting down the days now. What do we have? 4 days before I don't have to watch political ads on TV and wear out my shredder with incoming mail.
Yeah, we know you're not a big fan of politicians. That's for sure.
No, but it was cool following Josh Shapiro. Get out there and vote.
Right.
Yeah, if you missed the ads, I've been DVRing all of them. I have hours if you want to come over. You bring the beer.
I can't wait.
You bring the beer.
Okay. I've been really strong beer.
So what do we got today? What do we got? Beer news, all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah. We do have a BeerBuzz, and the BeerBuzz today is what is the world's most expensive beer? And so I had to do a little searching because I knew one or two of them, but I didn't know all of them. So we'll count down the top four. Number 4 is BrewDog's The End of History. And you've probably seen this because the beer was actually packaged in taxidermy squirrels.
Sounds delicious.
As a pet assistant, I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, that beer goes for $1,159. These are auction prices.
Okay.
Now that beer is 55%. Number 3, Cantillon has one called Lyric. Brewed in 1998, a really slow fermentation process that they use. That beer is $1,700 a bottle. Number 2 is a brewery called Nail Brewing, N-A-I-L, and they have a thing called Antarctic Nail Ale, and it's actually brewed with melted ice from an iceberg, and that beer was $1,800 a bottle. And the number 1, and we actually have a little bit of a connection to the number 1 beer. The number 1 beer we sort of featured on the Friday Beer Buzz. It is called Arctic Ale by Alsop's Brewery. And we didn't feature the actual original, but we had a guy on, Chris Bowen. I don't know if you remember Chris. Chris reproduced the bottle, reproduced the beer, went on a motorcycle expedition up into the Arctic to brew it in the Arctic. To pay tribute to this 1875 expedition, that beer goes for over $500,000 a bottle. Not Chris's, the original Arctic Ale by Alsop Brewery, because it was pulled up from a shipwreck. So not a lot of it out there, but that's the most expensive beer out there that you can actually try to buy if you have $500,000 laying around.
I understand people have hobbies and the hobbyists will do that and you have unlimited money, but I feel like there's like a stupid people, time for the auction. That's a lot of money.
We do offer natural white at $9.95 a 15-pack.
What if I bid higher?
We should. Next week we'll do least expensive beer. Maybe we'll follow that one up.
That free
we do
one.
have some beer news. Yeah, we do have some beer news, and the beer news comes to us in that same category that sadly we've been talking about. It's the downsizing, and this one literally is just a downsizing story. It's one that I'm very sad about. Lost Abbey out in California. They're partnered with Port Brewing and Pizza Port. They are outlining their long-term plans to get smaller. That is a large brewery. They have a 30-barrel brew house now. They aren't finding it survivable between COVID and inflation, the price of ingredients. So they're working to be smaller, which is exactly the opposite of what most breweries are doing. They're trying to sell their 30-barrel system. They've been in the business for 16 years, and what they're actually doing is coming out with a plan that relies less on growth. So it's a unique twist that we see in some of these breweries. We'll certainly be watching for it, but get out to Sabatini and buy up all the Lost Abbey Ale because it is really good beer, and we'll be really sad if they do ultimately not make it. Stone is working on a Christmas beer called Gimme Yule, Gimme Fire.
Very nicely
And that is
played.
a bourbon. Barrel Aged Buck beer. It's part of their one batch dispatch series. That beer hits 9.6% ABV and it will be packaged in 16-ounce cans. New Holland is working on some new beers. They have a bourbon barrel aged golden ale, and it's called Tales of Gold. They have one called Crimson Keep, and that is a red ale. They have one called Triple Mash, and that is a bourbon barrel aged stout. And they have a reserved coffee chocolate stout. And these are all big beers. They range from 11 to 17% ABV, and they're part of their Dragon's Milk lineup of barrel-aged beers, which I'm really fond of. And our last little tidbit comes from Sierra Nevada Brewing in Chico, California, and Mills River, North Carolina. They are producing a beer called Baltic Joy. It will be one of their FOMO exclusive beers, and it will be a porter with almonds and coconut. The beer hits 7.8% ABV. It will be packaged in 16-ounce cans. That's our beer news of the day. As always, if you want more details, you can go to the Breaking Beer News tab on mybeerbuzz.com.
There you go. All right.
I'm excited for this beer. This beer
It
today.
smells very Thanksgiving-y.
I was just saying, I've never smelled a beer that smelled more like pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Did you taste it yet?
I haven't tasted it yet.
I taste a little. Is it the nutmeggy, clovey kind of?
Nutmeggy, clovey thing.
It's very yummy.
It tastes really good. Yeah, it's got a good flavor to it.
It's like a pie, but not sweet. It just has that little hint of pumpkin pie.
That's all I think it needs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
See, when you say pumpkin pie, like for me, I get nervous because, again, I've said this a million times. I don't like it when it gets too sweet, but this
Right.
gives you the flavor
Without
of-
the sweetness.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I'm starting to really appreciate like that subtle aftertaste you get. Like aftertaste is usually associated with something bad. This, I think it's like as you take that breath out, the exhale, you get a little flavor, and I like that.
So we
It's
didn't
not
even
overwhelming.
mention what kind of beer
It's
that
fine. I like talking about the beer. We're supposed to tell people what we're drinking, I guess?
Yes.
No.
Let them know.
Keep it a secret.
Elysian Brewing, they're known for pumpkin beers. They brew a ton of different pumpkin beers. They have a pumpkin festival every year where they just pour it's pumpkin galore. And this is still pumpkin season, even though all of our suppliers are trying to get us to switch gears and start selling Christmas stuff already.
Right.
We're still pouring pumpkin beers and loving the fall beers. And this is Elysian Night Owl, is the name of this beer. It's pretty much their flagship pumpkin ale. Out of all the pumpkin ales they do, we carry 4 in the shop. This is the one that I think is probably out there the most, and it's just a really nice, solid pumpkin beer.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good. I love this.
We should mention that the theme here is that because it's daylight savings time this weekend and it gets dark at 5 in the afternoon, that we're all going to become night owls. Elysian is doing some great things. I have had the pleasure to sit on a bunch of Zoom conferences with their founders, Joe Bisaka and Dave Bueller, and I can tell you they are a blast to enjoy beers with. This is a beer that we just recently, actually while I was at the beach, I sat in on a Zoom conference with them and portrayed this beer. It hits 6.7% ABV, 18 IBU, and as you've already mentioned, it has ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, roasted and raw pumpkin seeds in the mash as well. And Elysian is famous for pumpkin beers. They pretty much invented the pumpkin beer category with one of their original owners, Dick Cantwell. Pumpkin beers, when you say pumpkin beers, most people that love them will know about Elysian Brewing.
Nice. I like this one a lot. I wish you brought more.
Just like you said, Lindo, this is with all of those flavors in here. Though it's refreshing. It's not sweet. It's not overpowering. It's just the perfect hint of that.
Yeah, I don't like going with things like the words like in this phrase, but it feels like this is appropriate. Like nailed it. Like they got it.
Yeah.
Some of them taste over the top, and I've tried a bunch of these recently. Some taste over the top. Some they go too heavy on it. The clove or nutmeg. It's just really good.
Where it still tastes like a beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You still know you're drinking a beer, and it's not like some weird seltzer latte pumpkin thing. It actually still tastes like a beer.
Right. And by the way, Jason, on the cover label here is an owl, and
talked
we
about
love to talk about how funny owls' legs are.
I know. Have you ever seen
Have you-
Bill, you're remote right now. Have you ever seen an owl's legs?
I haven't really hung out with a lot of
Now
owls.
you're gonna have to
but-
go Google this up.
It's
We've told people
super
before
easy.
to do this.
Yeah, Google
if you
owl
look at
skinny legs. That's
Owl
what I do.
skinny legs.
It's amazing.
And so we have an owl on the front.
I'm trying to think of Harry Potter and the owls, and I can't really picture one
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool.
Isn't
It's
that-
yummy though. This is delicious. He's laughing and seeing it. This is
That's
Elysian.
regular.
Am I saying it right? Is it Elysian?
Elysian, yes.
Just so people know, we're talking about Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale, and if you go to Sabatini's, they always, in case you forgot the name of the beer that we featured, there is a little setup there right by the counter, by the cashier, and you will see what the beer is.
Right.
And it's available at Sabatini's. And folks, if you like a pumpkin, like pie-ish, but not the sweetness, you got. I would even say, even if you don't think you'd like it, try it, because this is fabulous. It's Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. Google skinny owl legs for a little fun on this Friday.
And if you don't smile, that's on you.
Yeah. All right. The Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. First of all, Lindo, thanks for obviously coming in again as always, and hopefully
you.
get a lot of people out with the nice weather and all the sporting events going on. And Bill, have a great weekend. Okay.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Set your clocks back.
Yes.
We got it.
Sabatini's, the area's greatest selection of rare craft and imported beers. There are growlers and crowlers and 37 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. The Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beers and good people together.